Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 8th episode of the Fan Splash
Holy
Podcast.
shit!
Yes,
Wow.
8 episodes. Going to 10. Here today with Jesse Swift, and it's just the two of us, once again.
Just the two of us. You and I. Sorry.
And I think we've both had a lot of coffee, so this should be pretty exciting.
I'm just naturally weird. You can blame coffee.
I blame coffee, but I'm naturally weird, too.
So we have some fun topics to talk about today. A plethora of Panther topics.
Plethora.
Plethora.
No, it's plethora.
You asshole. So, would you like to kick it off, or shall I, sir?
Why don't you go for it, because my phone's being weird. No.
All right.
Oh, there it goes.
His phone's being weird. That's okay, I got it pulled up here, and it's your text that you sent to me, so I got it in the same order. Alright, everybody. Well, so who is the number one most popular, probably African-American actor right now, up and coming?
Michael B. Jordan.
That would be Michael B. Jordan, not to be confused with the Space Jam star.
I love Michael B. Jordan, and I'm
great.
glad that he's rising up pretty fast, too, because I've been a fan of his since Chronicle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who would have thought, like, I saw that movie and I liked everybody in it, but I didn't think, and Dane DeHaan's gone on to do some things. He was in Lawless. He was in Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
But then again, Michael B. Jordan was also in Fantastic Four, so they both, like, did superhero movies poorly, but that's not their fault. And then they went off to do other things. But, yeah, Michael B. Jordan's great. If you have seen Fruitvale Station.
No.
No, Fruitvale Station is great. Ryan Coogler, I think. Fact check me if you have to. I believe Ryan Coogler directed Fruitvale Station as well as Creed. He directed both those movies. Oh,
yeah. I was pretty excited when I saw that he was going to get the lead in Creed.
And now he's come on to do Black Panther, so we can see that he is incapable of doing a movie without Michael B. Jordan.
It's funny because I know that he had just obviously been in the Fantastic Four, but I wanted Black Panther to be Michael B. Jordan.
That would have been good casting.
I'm happy that Chadwick Boseman actually, and I just saw him. He was on Chelsea Handler's new show on Netflix.
Michael B. Jordan or Chadwick?
Chadwick Boseman.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. And actually, most of the Civil War cast was on there. She had him at a breakfast thing anyway. But no, he seems pretty cool. He seems like a cool guy. I don't know him from anything.
He reminds me a little bit of T'Challa in real life in the way that he talks to people, because somebody's like, "So Chadwick, do you go by Chad?" He's like, "Try calling me Chad."
Oh my God.
I thought that was funny, but yeah.
Chadwick's or Chad is too wide of a name. So,
Yeah. But I thought that was great. So the rumor has it. So he's confirmed to be in, Black Panther, but the rumor is that it's a villainous role.
See, I would hope that it was a villain role, because then I wouldn't feel like Michael B. Jordan was wasted in the Marvel Universe. Mm-hmm. I don't want him to be a supporting character. That would be horrible, because he is very talented.
How wasted have the villains been, though, in the Marvel Universe?
Well, they
track record-wise. There's been like 3 good ones out of 12 movies.
But they've all, I feel like most of them have done a good job, but they haven't all been none of them make it to another movie, other than Loki, probably.
Right.
But we'll see.
I'm only relatively familiar with the Black Panther character and mythos and things like that. I just know from what I've seen from the animated movies and a couple comics. So as far as what character Michael B. Jordan could be playing, anybody's guess, but I could tell you where I would like it to go.
Where's that?
A couple different options. So I'm trying to remember. There is a character called, I believe it's the White Ape, but he's, African American person, but he wears like a white ape costume type thing. And you know how Black Panther's a mantle that's passed down generation to generation?
Yes.
I would like the villain to almost be a revenge-driven villain where the previous Black Panther, T'Chaka, took out his dad or something. So it's like a battle of the sons of the next generation, the passing of the torch, I think would be a cool thing to do with somebody as young as Michael B. Jordan is. And then there's another character, something Wolf. I don't remember what it's called, but they could follow the same path. I know White Ape was a big villain in the Earth's Mightiest Heroes cartoon for Black Panther. He doesn't have a rogues gallery like Batman or Spider-Man or anything like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, clearly, because I don't know anything about Black Panther.
Sure. Which makes this movie all the more exciting. It's like we're going in dark. No pun intended. But I will say, do you remember Andy Serkis in Age of Ultron? He played Ulysses Claw.
Yes.
Yes. Ulysses Claw is Black Panther's #1 villain. And he got his arm cut off, kind of lending him to become that villain, because he has like a robotic arm.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you have Spider-Man in it. Dude, you got a robotic arm? That's awesome.
Well, they could. Well, maybe they could use.
They could have a couple villains.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have one main villain, and maybe Andy Serkis is more of a side villain. Or vice versa. I would hope that they wouldn't sideline Michael B. Jordan, like you're saying, because he's really talented.
He's very talented. That's why it was. It was the same with Martin Freeman. Like Martin Freeman, I would expect him to have the role that he's having.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I didn't want him to be underutilized. Whereas Benedict Cumberbatch could like more take on the hero role or whatever. But Martin Freeman, Everett Ross is perfect for him.
Yes. And, which reminds me, Martin Freeman, Everett Ross is a character that's very directly tied to Black Panther. He's a liaison for Wakanda, or he was in the comics.
Okay.
So we might see Martin Freeman in Black Panther, which would make us all very happy. The cast is really shaping up, and then just to add on that shortly before that, it was announced that Lupita Nyong'o, known for Star Wars, help me with the title, what's the Years a Slave movie?
12 Years a Slave.
12 Years a Slave. I believe she was in that movie as well. She played... is Akita the name of the mom wolf in Jungle Book?
I think so.
That was also Lupita Nyong'o.
Oh, okay.
And good for her. I mean, she's getting out there, and it'll be cool, I hope, in this movie that she's actually has FaceTime, because, you know, she does great with her voice work, but she's also a really great actor. I believe she's an Academy Award nominated actor or winner. She needs to be in front of the camera more. I think so. We got Black Panther casting. Do you have anything else to say about the Black Panther casting? Casting?
No, but I mean, now I'm that much more excited for the movie because I just really hope that Michael B. Jordan doesn't get like Black Panther's brother or something.
I was gonna say like
I don't.
Panther Kid or something.
Yeah, that would be very upsetting because I am a big fan of his and I really want him to succeed. And I was very upset with mostly the Fantastic Four. I haven't seen it. I almost watched it yesterday because it's on my X1, but
no.
So, but I want to see it. I just want to see that cast.
Yeah. So it's never, I've always said this and I'll continue to say this, it's never a mistake to add talent, and which is what they're doing with Black Panther, stacking it up to the nines with talent. They also have a Academy Award winning director now for Creed. Pretty sure
it's never a mistake to add talent, yet the talent was there in Fantastic Four. But
the mistake was not in adding the talent. No. Yes.
No, I guess not.
Just saying, you're never gonna get docked points,
right,
for hiring great actors or a great director. It's not gonna make the movie worse. If something goes wrong, it's usually some other factor. But anyways, moving on, we got a very much anticipated trailer this last week here. Did it deserve to be as anticipated as it was? Well, that's what we are here to discuss. So, Assassin's Creed, the third video game movie of this year, I believe. Unless you count Angry Birds, and it's 4.
So, what? There's Warcraft,
yes,
Ratchet and Clank,
yes,
and Assassin's Creed,
yes, and then 4 of Angry Birds. So,
I guess Angry Birds count. It's not. Is it a video game?
It's an
app.
Game.
Well, an app. It's a game though.
Yeah. So, and then Tomb Raider's coming out later, but I mean, for this year, I think it's 3 or 4.
I like this new wave of video game movies.
I'm crossing my fingers for it.
I like the old one. I actually liked some of the video game movies that came out better than the superhero movies that were coming out around that time.
I know Tomb Raider did well.
Well, when you compare Tomb Raider to Daredevil and like Fantastic Four to Doom, what is better?
You're
on the other side of
asking
those?
The wrong person, because I like those more than Doom and Tomb Raider.
Everybody shits on Doom. Doom was a great movie. Are you gonna shoot me?
3/4 of it was a good movie.
It was a good movie. It was pretty good.
It was his first mission!
It was such a good movie. Dude, and then
maybe
they
I'll have to
surprise you with the first-person point of view? Come on. It was a good movie. The Rock was a good choice.
My favorite video game movie is Mortal Kombat, the original.
Yeah. I would.
In a terrible kind of way.
No, I would agree with you. Dude, yesterday I was at, just to defer for a second, yesterday I was at Walmart, and they had this, one of those claw grabber thingies, but it was like a three-handed, like, lizard hand, and I had my sunglasses, and I, like, crushed them. And I was just alone by myself going, those were $500 glasses, asshole.
That's freaking hilarious.
Anyway.
That movie is
So, yeah, no, it's great.
classic.
So, Assassin's Creed was a great game. I only ever played the first one, and I don't remember a whole lot of it. My
I've
brother...
played the second one all the way through.
And how many
of
of them are there?
6 to 8? 6?
I think we're the wrong people to ask.
Yeah,
on
we're
that.
not
I
the
mean,
right.
I'm definitely not the right person at all
mean, you
because
had-
I don't play video games. I only appreciate video games.
Yeah.
So
I like the idea of Assassin's Creed, and they're doing Assassin's. This movie went through development hell for like a good year and a half or so, but like they're doing Assassin's Creed. Michael Fassbender is producing and starring, and I was like, well, that's never a mistake. That sounds great.
yeah, how do you feel about Fassbender?
That if I'm gonna have if we're gonna start breaking down conversation about the trailer and the look of everything, I think Fassbender is a good choice. I think he looks great, but for some reason, my anticipation, being somebody that's not an avid Assassin's Creed fan, but my anticipation was like right about here. Mm-hmm. After the trailer, it's right about there. It went down a hair.
See, I feel from not remembering a whole lot about the story and then just walking into the trailer slightly blind with only like a little bit of like, oh, I remember you were able to do this and it was kind of like this and about this.
Yeah.
I got that whole refresher course with the
Right.
trailer. So it bumped me down from like, oh, Assassin's Creed movie to like this. Because now I'm thinking like all the other cool video games that came out that I wanted to buy so badly, but then I realized that I wouldn't play them, dude.
Yeah.
I would play them for like 3 days and then I'd never play them again. So like The Last of Us, BioShock, Uncharted,
Mass
stuff like
Effect,
that. Yeah,
Halo.
stuff like that.
It goes on.
Well, I played Halo. Of course, I played Halo.
There's a lot of great narratives in these
Yeah.
video game movies that didn't used to be there.
But that's what I'm saying is like these stories are gonna hit the screen and then like hopefully they hold true to the storyline at least progressively of the game, and then I get to enjoy that experience when before I couldn't because I tried the most recent game I tried to play other than like Grand Theft Auto just because there's like a big open world that you could just roam around and then just not.
I
do a
don't
whole
think
lot.
you can make a great movie out of Grand Theft Auto.
No, don't try.
Because
But
it's
I'm
not
just
really-
saying, like, the only reason I bought Grand Theft Auto is because I knew that I wouldn't have to stick to the storyline if I wanted to play. I could just
Sandbox
like
games
walk
are
around.
great.
Right. So, but the last game I tried to play, like seriously play, was Legend of Zelda: Skyward Sword.
Yeah.
And I couldn't figure out the Wii motion controls, and in the tutorial mode, I was failing miserably. So I was just like, well, if I can't jump over this ledge, then how the fuck am I gonna beat the first boss? So I just quit, and I never played again. So it's frustrating for me with video games. So I'm excited for this new wave of like Warcraft. Looks good.
I'll leave it at cautiously optimistic because I would love for there to be a new genre of movies. I think Warcraft, the more I see from it, the more excited I get. Assassin's Creed I haven't quite seen enough of yet, but I have hopes for it. We'll probably talk about Ratchet and Clank a little bit later. But
Yeah.
I want to circle back real quick and just through the trailer, pros of the trailers, cons of the trailers. What did
Okay.
you like about it? What did you not like about it?
The number one thing that stuck out, I think, for everybody as a con was there's terrible music in the
It's
middle of it.
freaking Kanye. Why would you do that?
What is that?
There's no... Yeah, no. Everybody is like...
It's funny because I'm actually a fan of Kanye West,
Of
but
him
not
or his music?
Huh?
Of him or his music?
His music.
Okay.
I have a feeling that like that like at some level he's just selling himself. So he's being some sort of troll in order to like sell himself.
Well, he's doing a
Well, not being a
fantastic
sell out, but you know,
No,
like,
I know.
you know what I mean?
Branding.
Yeah, because it's working, right? It's obviously working. So I don't think that he's totally the way that he is. I might think that like, but by at some level, everybody is a little bit, but I don't think that he's totally like that. But anyway, if I don't recognize the song, I think it might be from Life of Pablo. Might be. That's his most recent one. I didn't really like that. I gave it one listen, and I usually give stuff a few listens before I judge it, but I couldn't handle it. So
Music,
But yeah, it was bad.
music was terrible. Something that did work for me was seemingly practical effects. Looked like, practical fight scenes, practical parkour, which is really cool.
Parkour is a big part of Assassin's Creed.
It is. It's a huge part. So you have to
so.
get that right. I think that's incredibly important. And I can't pinpoint exactly what it was, but just when I got... And I feel this way a lot of times with teaser trailers, so I'm not too mad at it, but when it wraps up, I just have this overwhelming feeling of being underwhelmed. And that's... Like, I'm not... Don't get me wrong. I'm not mad at the trailer. I don't think it looks like a bad movie. I just haven't seen something to get me excited yet. It's just kind of like this is coming, is where I'm at right now. It's like, this movie's coming out.
I understand where you're at. I'm just not there. I'm actually more excited.
Hey, by all means, I'm not judging anybody that's excited for this movie. I'm like, great. I want there to be a swell of excitement for video game movies because I want them to be taken seriously. I want people to put a lot of money into them, a lot of effort, make them the next
Absolutely.
thing.
These stories need to be exploded.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that
They're ripe for the taking.
I'm glad that studios are once again considering taking video game storylines much more seriously instead of adapting books that were just like half-assed stories.
Sure.
Or
I'd rather video game movies than those teen bopper, Twilight, whatever else you want to call them.
I know exactly. That's a huge thing right now, but I don't think honestly that's gonna go away anytime soon.
No, I'm just saying what I'd rather.
They might run out of
We
books.
don't always
They
get
might
them.
have to dive into like 90-something books and
Well,
some
they're
shit.
still working on Artemis Fowl book, which I am actually waiting for.
I loved Artemis Fowl.
Yeah, they're working.
That was
on
a great book. They've been talking about that movie for at least a decade.
Yeah, I think it's actually going into production.
Okay, cool. Who's gonna play Artemis Fowl?
I don't think I've heard any casting. I think I heard either it was a writer or a director, but hell, if I still remember that.
Okay,
I'd have
yeah,
to look it back up.
it's been a while. It's been a thing.
Sorry, go ahead.
But yeah, no, I'm excited for more stories because clearly they can't come up with anything original anymore. So adaptations are the next best thing.
When they do originals, they bomb at the box office. Looper.
How? Huh? Looper? Did Looper bomb?
It didn't bomb, but it didn't do great either.
Looper was fantastic.
Looper was fantastic.
They need to come
And
up
original.
with. I wish they'd just make like not literally but figuratively another Matrix.
Yeah.
Or like another Fifth Element. Or like something crazy awesome that's just gonna like stand alone forever.
I mean, there's this. I think we're past talking about Assassin's Creed, but we're gonna go into a subtopic right here, which is just kind of like Hollywood trends, and
Okay.
it's kind of sad because Hollywood's very reactionary.
Yes.
It makes sense because it's a business, but like the things you say, I want a new Matrix, I want a new Fifth Element and stuff. Original sci-fi seems to be dying. It's because crap like Jupiter Ascending comes out, and then it just tanks, and everyone's like, "Oh, people don't want to see new sci-fi."
Who did
That's
Jupiter
not
Ascending?
true. What?
Who did Jupiter Ascending?
The Wachowskis.
Yeah, why? I was just gonna say I know it was them, but I didn't see it. I didn't give it a fair chance,
didn't
but
either.
it just looked so ridiculous to me.
Everyone said it was just god awful, and I think it's the same thing with female superhero movies. They did Elektra, Catwoman. I think there might have been another one, but they all bombed, and they're like, "Oh, so nobody wants to see these?" No, we do. Just give us a good movie because you're not giving quality.
That's terrible because
representations.
female actresses, they don't get a whole lot of main stories and stuff like that. And if they do, it's focused on like a big female cast or something like that. Like the new Ghostbusters or something. Right, but somebody was telling me they are doing a male one too. I don't know how I feel about that, but it's there needs to be a lot more diversity, and it's sad that when we do get a Catwoman, it was the worst script ever made at that time.
I think we're getting there because Lucy made a lot of money because it had the draw of Scarlett Johansson, who is a movie star now. And from everybody I've heard from, it was terrible. But it made a lot of money being drawn by a female, which I think is awesome.
Well, yeah, I never saw it. That was like the male version of Limitless, right?
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah, it looked pretty good. I just didn't want to. I had
I
got
heard it was
past
very disjointed.
well, I had got past that whole we only use 10% of our brain thing, so I it didn't have that draw for me. But I would have gone and seen it if it looked interesting to me. I'm actually a fan of like Scarlett Johansson, so it's like I personally don't understand the like oh well all those guys are female, I'm not gonna go see it, but it may be a subconscious thing in a lot of people. So
her it being female led had nothing to do with me not seeing it, because I will most likely see Wonder Woman.
I for sure will see Wonder Woman. Yeah,
That's more out of comic book obligation.
this is your individual interests though, right? It's not what like I will go see in a like if they make an Elektra series. Actually, that's a bad example because I didn't really like Elektra in Daredevil.
Star Wars female lead.
Oh yeah,
Boom!
it did great.
Over
There we
$2
go.
billion.
Yeah,
So we're getting there.
we are getting there.
We're making progress.
Actually,
Rogue One is also going to be
and
female.
Finn is African American.
There you
so,
go. Oscar Isaac is some kind of, I don't know, not Puerto Rican, Cuban, something.
And Black Panther's getting his own movie.
Yep.
I'm not saying that
Miss
like
Marvel or Captain Marvel, which is female.
right. I'm not saying that they've never gotten their own movies and that
I'm
it
just saying
hasn't
it's
always been
just
a
now
thing.
happening, I think.
I don't think so.
Oh.
But I feel like it's I don't know what to say. It's different now.
We're looking at a
It's
shift
a lot more.
in Hollywood, hopefully for the better.
Hollywood's actually giving them a quality chance,
Right.
I believe.
I think the next shift will probably be like the LGBT movement in like films and things.
Sure, you see a lot of that in Sense8, which is Wachowski's, and that's pretty. I mean, I like it. It's
Is
pretty
it
good.
Wachowskis or Chowskis?
I don't know. It could be Wachowski's. I don't. What does it matter?
I don't know. But that's I wanted to get that out there. Some of my thoughts on how I think that people are. I mean, well,
It is unfair. It's not fair. It's most movies that come out are white male dominated.
Yep.
And I feel ridiculous saying that, but it's true, and it's sad that like most of like the black actors that I know are I could name them. I was like, oh, Don Cheadle's in this, Michael B. Jordan, Chadwick Boseman. It's they're coming together. Whereas there's so many white actors that you get a sense of, oh, that guy. Who's that guy?
Right.
You know, I've seen him in a lot of things, but it's that guy.
know,
But if you've seen a black actor in a couple of things, you know his name.
Yeah, Chiwetel Ejiofor, because they always make such a big deal about them being in movies and stuff.
Yeah, Morgan Freeman, Denzel Washington, Samuel L. Jackson, all those.
Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, no, I completely understand your point. And I think Hollywood being...
Females, too.
Yeah.
Kristen Wiig, Maya Rudolph, Melissa
Comedians.
McCarthy.
Yeah.
Well, those are more of my focus group for what I watch with
No, but
stuff. So I'm not into like rom-coms.
You're
totally.
right on
So
the money with...
Emma Stone.
Yeah, you're right on the money with being able to name like a lot of female actors and a lot of black male or female actors
Right.
and actresses, and then when it comes to the white equivalent, it's just like, bleh.
But I would say, even though I was younger, so it's not a very fair argument, but 10 years ago, I couldn't name half that many.
Sure.
And like I said, I feel like, at least, not always, that was a ridiculous thing, but in, at least for the span of my lifetime, it's been integrated, but I don't know how well integrated.
Right.
I can't say that, because it for sure has mostly been, I've seen countless movies where every single character in the movie is at least white, and then 80% of those are male.
Yeah.
Where 51% of the entire population is female, so it's a little ridiculous.
It definitely
So,
is. And I'm happy to see the shift, and I hope it continues to go that direction.
as do I. I don't understand why a female's storyline wouldn't be as exciting to go see as a male's storyline.
Yeah, I mean, not everyone's on the same boat as us, but I think I'm. Like you said,
we
it's
do
about-
live in a pretty progressive area of the United States. We're
It's-
teased as hipsters.
Exactly.
So, but
It's about what our interests are, not whether it's male or female led.
sure.
I couldn't care less. I just want a story that is interesting.
I just want something that looks cool. And yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely.
I think it's crazy that we get there from Assassin's Creed, but a great jumping off point is talking about how reactionary Hollywood is to how audience responds to things. Well, we got Deadpool, which is the most successful X-Men film of all time. So what's going to be rated R next?
Wolverine!
Wolverine! Damn right.
On.
Thank God.
Finally, they're going to do that rated R. So I was looking up some stuff. It's going to be rated R because it's pretty bloody, right?
I imagine. And
He
has dropped an F-bomb in First Class.
Yeah, you can drop a couple, I believe, in certain context, and it could still be PG-13.
I think it's 2.
It's 2 in certain contexts, though. You can't say, like, fuck you or fuck me or something like that.
Right.
But, yeah, it has to be, like, fuck off.
Yeah, because they said that again in Days of Future Past.
Or get the fuck down or something like that. Or I don't know what it is, but it's...
Anyway. Or it's used in an expression and not an insult or something like that.
Sure.
That's what it sounds like.
I don't know what it is. I saw a whole documentary on why they do ratings. Yeah, Wolverine.
Wolverine. We're going to get a great send-off to Hugh Jackman. Thank you for your service. Slice and dice and cut some fools up. Well, technically, the Wolverine Uncaged edition was basically rated R. I didn't get to see it, though, but I heard it was more blood and a little more swearing or something like that. So I think that's also kind of a little bit of a jumping-off point.
Did it have any excitement factor to it added?
What, like Hugh Jackman's body?
No. No! I'm just, I don't know. I that's my least favorite out of all of them is the Wolverine.
I think that when you make a film about a guy who's got metal claws that can cut through people, come out of them, I think you add a lot more momentum to your film when you don't bind the director to follow a PG-13 code. You know what I'm saying? I think you can have a lot more fun with Wolverine not being like, hey, kids have to go see this. Because we were the kids that saw the PG-13 films. We've grown up with Wolverine. We're adults now. We can watch an R-rated Wolverine.
Yeah, but like think about the people that were like 18 when the first X-Men came out. Then probably that year or a few years later they had kids. They got teenagers now. Mm-hmm. So
I understand it. I'm excited for it. I hope they do the Old Man Logan story the best they can because they don't own 3/4 of the characters from that storyline.
Oh.
No Hulk, no Hawkeye, no
right.
various other people. But I do want to see white-haired Hugh Jackman. Man, if Wolverine 3 takes place in like a semi-sort of post-apocalyptic future with Wolverine just freaking running through the city, taking people out, that'd be a cool send-off for me.
It would be pretty cool, but rated R doesn't necessarily mean good.
Mm-mm.
It happened to work for Deadpool, but I just snuck him in there. Just a little...
Can you see that?
No, they could kind of see it on this one. Yeah, just a little bit. Deadpool. Yeah. It worked for Deadpool, and it's funny. You open the Blu-ray player, and it's got like a testicular cancer awareness thing, and it said, "Go ahead, touch yourself," and it's like it's this whole thing on how to check yourself for testicular cancer. Anyway.
Oh man,
but that's got a lot more to it than just like making this rated R. Would be a little different than Deadpool. Deadpool obviously has this huge array of comedy to it,
for probably more reasons. Wolverine will probably be rated R for 1 or 2 reasons. Deadpool is rated R for every reason.
Yes,
for
sure.
And I think that you could do and I don't do this for theatrical, I don't think, but when it comes out on DVD, I think you could probably do a cut version of the film, depending on how bad they want to do it. But you don't need to. I don't know. I don't have that many opinions. I feel like I'm stretching to try to talk more about it. I'm just excited to have an R-rated send-off for Hugh Jackman. But
yeah, but I think once they send off Hugh Jackman, they need to take that as a hint to reboot the franchise.
Yes, I think we're both in agreement that... Now, I think we're also both in agreement. Do not give X-Men back to Marvel, but maybe grab a different director, or a different couple directors, and then reboot the franchise because
give Fantastic Four back.
Yes,
but listen carefully. X-Men is your new MCU, Fox.
There's so many characters.
There's you have almost unlimited characters that you have complete cinematic rights to.
And then you have X-Force, New Mutants, the main X-Men. Then you have Deadpool, and then you have people that can do spin-offs, like they want to do a Gambit movie.
So Deadpool is the first installment in your new MCU series.
And that's your Colossus, too.
Yeah, that is the perfect Colossus. So much better than the other one.
Yes.
And I really think that
Tim Miller. Get Tim Miller to do the rest of the X-Men.
It is so much easier with the X-Men to try to integrate even other characters, like what they're doing with the Avengers.
Yeah.
I feel like that what they're doing with the Avengers is a lot more complicated than trying to keep the X-Men storylines together, and
because they're all tied in through being mutants. You know, you can
right, but they have to figure out ways in the Avengers universe to keep certain things possible and other things not, and then find creative ways to go about this power source and that. Whereas everything in X-Men is the mutant X gene, and it's really funny that they've succeeded where Fox has failed.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, X-Men, I think that if they're going to go the rated R route, which they should, for at least 5 out of 10 movies, for at least like half of them. Huh?
Well, I guess it depends. New Mutants does not need to be rated R.
Sure.
X-Force should be rated R. Do you know what the X-Force is? It's basically all the murdering type X-Men characters put on a team.
Right.
It was Deadpool, Wolverine, Cable, people that will kill people.
Right.
That should and could be rated R. New Mutants, I think it's just basically like a young adult version of the X-Men.
Sure, and I don't think if they start over again with like Charles Xavier and the Mutant Academy and stuff, that doesn't need to be rated R, but PG-13.
I got bad news for you.
What?
I don't think they're going to reboot it anytime soon because, well, I don't know. Patrick Stewart's supposed to be in Wolverine 3. They said James McAvoy is going to be in New Mutants. So let's give it another 10 years.
Maybe they'll listen to our podcast though, and that'll change.
Yeah, I think
no, that's sad because I really hate that they started a second wave of it with the First Class cast, and
I also been happier First Class was a reboot. It almost was. It was like a soft reboot, but then they interconnected it, and then Jennifer Lawrence.
They're trying so hard to save X-Men and continue an old series.
Yeah. They
should just start fresh, and I think Deadpool was the perfect kickoff.
Right. I agree. And it's funny that it took...
They got 3 trilogies out of it. 3. There's no reason to continue going.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't really think about that. Yeah, you had the X-Men trilogy. Now we're going to have the Wolverine trilogy. And then we're going to have the First Class trilogy, or whatever you want to call that. The new... Okay. And it's all in the same convoluted continuity.
So let's go now into our Apocalypse predictions.
Yeah, perfect launching off point, because otherwise we could talk about all that crap.
Reviews are not so good.
It's not so good. Go for it.
Well, I haven't watched any. I've just heard bad things.
So, I have not watched any spoiler videos for the X-Men Apocalypse, but I have watched some people's reviews of it, and man, across the board, it's kind of just hitting the middle point for a lot of people. Like, if you go 1 to 10, I'm getting a lot of 5s, 6s.
What are some problem areas that people are talking about?
7s.
Is Apocalypse a letdown?
Well,
no spoilers.
What would you think would be a problem with that movie? And I'll tell you if you're probably right.
I wanted so bad for you to be wrong about this, though.
Yeah.
Because I didn't understand, because like I've said in multiple podcasts before, she was fun. Her development in First Class made sense. Didn't really need to be there, but it made sense.
We're talking about Jennifer Lawrence, by the way.
Oh, Mystique. Sorry, yeah, Jennifer Lawrence, Mystique. In Days of Future Past, it was a cool thing for her to have. You know, she's just like the rogue bitch that like has her own agenda and nothing else matters, right? But when you're like,
I'm just gonna stay here.
They keep just shoving Jennifer Lawrence in our face. What the fuck's going on? That's not how Mystique is. What the fuck? I'm like,
very accurate representation of me talking.
Well, I'd never actually personally talked to you before, like when you were talking about this, but I'm just imagining you just angrily typing it. And it was like,
so accurate.
What the fuck did you get about this?
I literally
Post!
random middle of the day. Like I think after like the first X-Men trailer came out, I literally just did like a rant post on my Facebook. I was like, Jennifer Lawrence, and there was like, why are you hating so much? I'm like, God.
I know. I was there with it. I was like, shut up. It's fine. It's gonna be fine. This does not look fine.
Mm-mm.
It doesn't. She looks.
Doesn't sound fine either.
You're X-Men. Act like X-Men. So that's a big problem with everyone. Everyone hates it.
Yeah. It goes
Rightfully so.
from hates to tolerate. Nobody likes her in the film. Out of all the reviews that I've watched, I've heard the.
You should have stopped at Days of Future Past. Fuck.
I've heard the, and this isn't a spoiler, you can guess what the climax area of the movie is by watching the trailer. I've heard it's weak. Really weak.
What is the climax? All the X-Men finally come together to take down Apocalypse?
Something of that nature, I'm sure, but I've heard that it comes across very weak. I've heard Sophie Turner's Jean Grey is pretty much worthless. A lot of the new characters are disappointing. Psylocke has 2 to 3 lines.
I never thought Sophie Turner was a good fit for Jean Grey.
I didn't either. It's
not that like
she's got red hair. She'll be a great Jean Grey.
She's a popular actress that has red hair, so she'll probably do a good job. But
I'm surprised that you cast Emma Stone as Jean Grey.
Well, Emma Stone's been in like a superhero movie before. Rather, she played a fitting part for herself. But like, goddamn, dude, the person that's playing Storm, the Storm looks like a good fit, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Sophie Turner is phenomenal in Game of Thrones. Right. She's great in Game of Thrones. I don't see her as like a mutant. I just don't see that as a fit.
No, she doesn't do anything for me. I'm trying to think what else there.
I never liked the casting for Beast either.
I guess, oh my gosh, Nicholas Hoult as Beast was so miscast to the point where like I think the only thing I've kind of liked him in, even though I didn't love the movie, was Mad Max. I thought Nicholas Hoult was good in Mad Max, but Warm Bodies I hated, Jack the Giant Slayer I hated. I don't like him as Beast. So
who is he in Mad Max?
What a Lovely Day!
Is he the Witness Me Blood Bag? Is he that guy?
He's like the main smaller dude with like the 2 guys growing on his neck.
I have to re-see that movie.
The one, yeah, shiny chrome. I don't know.
Yeah,
I've seen... main guy that follows around the younger kid.
Yeah,
yeah.
The Half-Life or whatever. Yeah,
the blood bag dude. Yeah. That is Nicholas Hoult.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I think he's great in that.
That is a great movie. Well, I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I thought...
I think a lot of people did like it. I'm just weird.
Everyone I've talked to didn't.
Really?
But they hadn't seen Road Warrior or Beyond Thunderdome. It's very reminiscent of Road Warrior. All those Mad Max films take off right from the jump. There's
the topic.
Yeah. There's not a whole lot of build other than probably the first Mad Max because it's like the whole family dies or whatever. But most of them just start and then go the whole way. And Fury Road did the perfect job of that. So anyway,
back to Apocalypse. I'm hearing a mixed bag about Apocalypse. There's people that love him, think it's awesome, and there are people that are kind of so on him. It's any range that you could put on Apocalypse exists. He's not a solid in any kind of way, which I think is unfortunate because, I mean, I guess in First Class Sebastian Shaw was the villain, but we haven't had. Basically, Magneto's been the villain for a fair chunk of the movie. So I was excited to have a new villain. That and pretty much everything's led to Apocalypse. Apocalypse is like the X-Men villain. Like, I know Magneto's like the most well known, but Apocalypse is like the big villain. He's the Thanos of X-Men. And to think that they're falling flat on their face, trying to blow the load on their biggest villain is really upsetting because it's not just like we can get a new Apocalypse in 5 years.
Sure, we could.
I don't think they would do it that close together. I think maybe lead up to it again, but I'm sad to hear that sounds like they're botching a great story. I mean, they botched Dark Phoenix, so now they might botch Apocalypse, which again, I really want them to reboot it because there's, you could do the story of Onslaught, you could do the Shi'ar Empire, the Morlocks. There's so many storylines that you could do, but I don't want this team of people doing them anymore. Stop it.
Yeah, they need to get like a team like what the Avengers has. It's even they're doing everything so perfectly. It's like even like DC, you can already see them like with the launch of like their Arrowverse and stuff like that. Like that's not as well done as I would say as I would expect. They all their TV shows in the Disney MCU, those all go together along with the films.
Yeah.
Whereas DC had to separate them. I'm just saying, like Green Arrow would have been perfect for a television series that would have fit along with the movies.
Yeah.
And I'm watching more of The Flash, and I like it, and The Flash isn't a bad series.
I don't want to go on a side topic, but just sheer curiosity. Where are you at on Flash?
I just he lost his powers. It was like episode 8, and then he got him back. That
Of season 1?
Yeah. So
it gets better.
But no, that's what I've heard. Everybody likes the Flash, but everybody thinks that Arrow took a shit. But what I'm saying is like Disney is doing so well with their characters.
By the way, Agent Carter was canceled.
Oh, well, they probably ended it, right?
No. They wanted to do another season, and then ABC's like, yeah.
And Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
And then,
but we got Daredevil and Jessica Jones.
But other than like, see, we even still have problems with it. But like as a whole, it's doing so well.
Yes.
Why can you not have that? Why is there zero continuity in this X-Men franchise? Why is DC failing to even introduce characters in the first place? You know, there's all these different universes, all these different things. How do we have just one perfect team? There's no way that there's other people that you could find that could accomplish a similar feat. That's ridiculous to me. There should be some sort of similar creative consultant that you could.
You're hitting the nail on the head, because what I was going to say is I can give you one name that's making the difference why X-Men's failing, DC's failing, why they don't have structure, and it's Kevin Feige.
Right. Why can't Fox get a Kevin Feige? Why can't DC get a Kevin Feige?
Right.
I know Zack Snyder's trying to be,
but Kevin Feige is not a director. You don't have a director, especially a flawed director, try to handle a universe. Because Kevin Feige sees like the big picture, but Zack Snyder just has like his vision, his narrow.
I would almost say like let Kevin Feige like help with like the characters of the mutants, but I wouldn't want that to like lead into an eventual like melding.
Avengers, X-Men crossover, cross-dimensional.
I wouldn't mind if it was a multi-dimensional thing.
I think that'd be really cool. Like somehow a wormhole opens up and blah, 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 and then never again.
Yeah,
yeah,
sure,
that'd be cool.
But
that's how they'd have to do it, because otherwise, how do you explain mutants not existing in the Avengers world?
Inhumans.
Oh, by the way, that's back on.
Fuck.
But it said just not Phase 3.
So we could stop watching after Phase 3.
I wouldn't do that. I'm sure they'll introduce cool characters like Moon Knight and other things, and maybe Daredevil will get his own movie. Who knows? But, oh my gosh. X-Men
You're just like a trough of bad news.
Yeah.
So
X-Men Apocalypse is currently rotten on Rotten Tomatoes. It's getting...
Compared to Civil War.
Right, which is... I just checked yesterday. It was at 89, which I was surprised, because it was like 92.
And how much has Civil War made?
Civil War right now is over $800 million as of filming this podcast. By the time this podcast is up, it probably will have hit $1 billion, because I think it's supposed to hit $1 billion this weekend, which is nuts, because it's been open in the States for like 2 weeks. And the reception's great. X-Men Apocalypse reviews are not as toxic as the Batman v Superman reviews were, I think, but...
So that's excuse me. That's good to hear.
That's a glass half full.
Right, because I actually didn't totally hate Batman vs. Superman. I still think a lot of it was pretty cool.
Yeah, go ahead.
Cool.
Yeah.
Not well written.
Sure. And I think watch when Apocalypse comes out. Everybody's going to like continue hating it. I'm like, I like this more than Days of Future Past. Like, who freaking knows?
You might, but I think Days of Future Past could have been like the perfect ending to it. They could have just stopped. Apocalypse, though, I understand why they want to make Apocalypse and like put it in there, but they could put Patrick Stewart and James McAvoy in like another Deadpool movie, and like use it as like a joke. Like every time they show the professor, it's like James McAvoy, and then it shows it again and it's Patrick Stewart, and then it shows it again. It's the new actual professor that's gonna be in the rest of the franchise.
Yeah.
There you go, McAvoy. There's your.
Shit! It's just water, guys.
No,
okay.
there's your last X-Men movie. There you go, Patrick Stewart. There's your last X-Men movie.
I'm so tired. Like, honest, like.
I always thought they should do that. Sorry to interrupt you,
go ahead.
but like next time Wade Wilson takes off his mask, it's like fucking Johnny Depp or something, and then he like puts it back on.
Kevin Spacey as Xavier. Shoot, what was my train of thought? Oh, so obviously I have like this just comic book movie obligation, and it doesn't matter. Fantastic Four is actually the first comic book movie in like 10 years I did not see in theaters. Everything else, no matter what, no matter how bad it looks, I will go see it. If it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't see Apocalypse, being real, even though I'm an X-Men fan.
Fantastic Four is probably the only one that I haven't seen, period, because there's a lot of them I wait till the $2 theater to see, and
we still want the theater experience.
And then only 2 of them I saw on DVD, which was, I never got around to seeing Winter Soldier, unfortunately, so I saw that on DVD. And then I never got around to seeing Ant-Man, so unfortunately I saw that on DVD. But the rest of them I all saw in theaters, other than the Fantastic Four, because everyone was telling me it was so bad, it was so bad, it was so bad, I was afraid to see it, and now I still haven't seen it.
As well, you should be afraid.
So Fantastic Four is the only one that I have not seen.
Other than Ant-Man and Winter Soldier.
No, I've seen them both.
Oh, you mean
no?
I saw them
on
DVD. I
saw them on DVD.
I got it. Okay. So I don't know what they're gonna do with X-Men after this. I'm tired, dude. Like when I just think about the X-Men franchise, I just have like this overwhelming.
It's so fucked up and warped. It's gone all over the place. It's this web of disgusting, putrid bullshit. They've raped and done such injustice to a lot of characters, precious characters, and it's and I do think that they've come a long way, and they're doing a lot better now. And the films that have come out are a lot more exciting, and the continuity is better. I definitely loved Days of Future Past. Apocalypse definitely looks pretty good. However, you fucked up. It's over. End it.
I'm tired of Bryan Singer, too. Thank you for X-Men 1. Thank you for X-Men 2. I'm indifferent about Days of Future Past, and this doesn't sound like it's good. So you're like 2 for 2.
I really like Days of Future Past. I think Days of Future Past is still one of my favorites. It doesn't hold... I mean, it's... Obviously, the first X-Men is my favorite. But
number 1?
Yeah.
Over number 2?
Yeah, over number 2. Yeah, probably.
Most people say number 2, but I mean, I'm kind of here or there on them.
Number 2 was pretty good. I mean, it was pretty good, but like it wasn't that the introduction, It was
X-Men 1 and X-Men 2. Now, I'd say both of those felt the most X-Men-y of everything we've had.
For sure.
Like I felt like I was watching a comic book movie of the X-Men. I was like, oh, I love this, and then everything that's happened since then. Other than First Class.
We'll go back to Bryan Singer in just a second, but I'm at work and I randomly came up with a bit of like a Senator Kelly rap.
That's so good.
So it was like, Magneto turned me into a Waterworld Kevin Costner. Gills, what does it say? Magneto turned me into a Waterworld Kevin Costner. Gills to be physical proof that I'm a monster.
That's funnier than it should be.
I don't know why Waterworld Kevin Costner, you get it. Sure, it's like I don't know why I thought of that, but it just came up to me.
I love you.
And then he thinks he's a monster now because he's a mutant and he's all about mutant registration and shit like that.
Turns into the water, blah blah.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Jean Grey. So, but Bryan Singer is a lot like Metallica in that, he's great at first, and then he made a bunch of shitty albums, shitty movies, and then he had a nice comeback. I think Metallica's like Death Magnetic was pretty good.
Teacher, I have an interruption.
What?
So, I can't forgive him because he left the franchise that was off to a fantastic start to go do Superman Returns, and because he did that, we got Superman Returns and X-Men 3, and it's Bryan Singer's fault. And I'm sad.
Where's the guy that played Superman in Superman Returns now, by the way?
Arrow.
He's Adam.
Yeah.
That's so ridiculous. It's like,
you thought you were going to have a movie career?
Yeah. You were Superman. Now you're Adam. Who knows who Adam is? Not a whole lot of people.
I know who
although
Adam is,
although he does have Heroes of Tomorrow now. But still, I don't know how long. Legends of Tomorrow, yeah.
That was a ridiculous correction. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have bothered.
No, correct me. If I'm wrong, correct me.
Well, I'm just saying it's not worth the effort. It's just garbage.
It's ridiculous. But yeah, it's like you start off strong, and then you make a bunch of bad movies, bad albums, make like a good comeback one, and then you're done. Everything you do after that is going to be trash, you know? I like Metallica, by the way. I'm just using them as an example. I like Bryan Singer too, but he should stop. Maybe he could be the new Kevin Feige.
Well, Bryan Singer?
Yeah.
I don't like his vision anymore.
But if he had the opportunity to stop over instead of trying to salvage the franchise,
that's a good point. I wonder what he would have done with Dark Phoenix. But I would like to know before he goes and does it.
Sure.
There's some storylines that I want to see from the X-Men. I want the X-Men films to be my favorite comic book films.
Sure, because it was my favorite cartoon.
Exactly, my favorite cartoon, my favorite comics to read.
Sure.
When I was in middle school, I had like 10 X-Men comics at any given point in time, like stuffed in my backpack, and during silent reading, I was always reading X-Men.
I would get a detention if I was reading a comic book during silent reading.
What a bunch of queefs.
Yeah, one time I was reading like a highlights magazine or something, and my teacher came up to me and gave me a detention. I'm like, we got these today. Like, I have a book, but nope, no moving on that. Anyway, it's ridiculous that you have to be reading something with fucking chapters or something.
Some of my teachers were like, just make it look like you're doing something and don't make any noise.
Yeah, some were, but I mean, oh no.
But yeah, and then there's so many great, like, the 90s cartoon is not the only great thing. X-Men Evolution is very entertaining.
Oh, X-Men Evolution was fantastic. A lot of people didn't take it seriously because it was launched after the X-Men movie franchise started, and then it takes an interesting take on it. Wolverine, obviously he's older, but he's been with the X-Men a while, whereas Scott, Storm, Spike, Shadowcat.
Storm was older too, I think, in the cartoon.
Was she?
In Evolution. I think she was older, but then Scott, Jean, Nightcrawler, Kitty.
They're all in high school. Mm-hmm. Nightcrawler as well.
I think Storm might have been the team leader, other than Wolverine.
I think more Wolverine was like sent out on missions and stuff like that, and then I think you're right. Yeah,
Wolverine and the X-Men is one of my favorite animated shows of all time, and it was like one season, I think, and then it got canceled.
I haven't seen it.
Come on. Well,
look at the bastardizations of like cartoons they're launching now, and like you don't watch series that like are these on networks or are they just like released? These series that you
realized watch. I don't know how long I was out of that frame.
Go back. Let me see. That's like my third grade picture, but don't worry, you're in there. So you're just gonna have to vigilantly watch.
There we go. But not to go on like a side rant, but just like general consensus of Wolverine the X-Men cartoon. Watch it if you can find it. But there's two storylines going on at a time. Xavier's in a coma for like 15 years, and one storyline is right as he's waking up in the future, and it's like Days of Future Past Future.
Cool.
And he's communicating with the X-Men through time with his mind, and then it's like how the X-Men are trying to change the future in current time.
That sounds awesome.
It was so cool. It had Bishop, Domino, all these fantastic characters. It was a little bit on the dark side.
That kind of sounds like where I'm at in Flash. I don't know what happens, but Tom Cavanaugh is like looking into the future, trying to keep it intact, trying to keep Barry Allen alive. I don't know what happens. Don't tell me what happens. I know he's Reverse Flash, but
do you?
Huh?
Do you?
Yes.
Do you know that?
No, apparently I don't. Okay.
Show's so good. Mm-hmm. That show's gonna just melt your brain hole.
Anyway,
I'm so tired of talking about X-Men. It makes me sad.
No, we're off X-Men, but like, I just wanted to say, like, with like trying to make a cartoon series right now that people are gonna take seriously and like launch it on any network that is like, yeah, they're for kids, but like, what do they have now? They won't even like do like a serious Teen Titans. They got Teen Titans Go, Powerpuff Girls, the only series to get like an actual in every theater's movie from like Cartoon Network that I could think of. They just got their series like rebranded, like it came back in. It's just a bastardization of what it once was. I'm not like hailing Powerpuff Girls as like something, but I'm just saying like everything is a bastardization of what it used to be. Well, I'm entertained by Teen Titans Go. I would just want a serious Teen Titans.
I'd be entertained with it if I had like a small child to watch. I'm like, hey, this is kind of the characters I know. Like I can stand watching this with a child, but
sure.
I mean, but yeah, Teen Titans. Teen Titans kind of involved into Young Justice, which is such a good show, and then it revolted back to Teen Titans Go, and it's just like.
But yeah, it's interesting because how many people will watch shows like that? Like I grew up on like Jackie Chan Adventures was a quality show, and X-Men Evolution I feel was a quality show. You mo guai guai find me out. No, it was a good show though. The whole talisman thing, it was cool.
I rewatched the first season like a year ago.
I rewatched it like 4 years ago, but it was still anyway. Yeah, no, they should do that at least.
Easily, I could go on to.
So let's go into another cartoon then, Ratchet and Clank. Back to talking about.
You didn't see that, did you?
No.
Okay.
No, because the trailer looked like absolute trash.
It looked like it should have been, and I don't know why it wasn't, unless they spent a stupid amount of money on it or something, which didn't look like they did. But why couldn't that have been a straight-to-DVD movie? I feel like it would have done better.
Yeah, like a TV movie or something?
Like a TV movie. Like, hey, kids, and they could advertise on the Disney Channel or whatever channel it would be. It's like, Ratchet and Clank movie, yeah. Nobody's
to, like, launch the series or something, like some TV series.
Nobody's going to go see that. Like, I don't know what they were thinking.
I don't know a whole lot of people that did see it, but...
It made, like, what, $6 to $8 million opening weekend, which is a tragedy.
So, well, because the trailer was disgustingly underwhelming.
Yeah.
At the same point, if you've ever played the games, they're some of the funnest games that were out
I haven't, but I know a lot of people that love them.
It was pretty easy to play, and there was a lot of sequences in it, a lot of storyline build-up, and a lot of different cool weapons and stuff that you could do. A lot of exploring different worlds that you could go into. It was one of the most perfect video games that you could, like, universes that you could create.
I remember it was Jak and Daxter and Ratchet and Clank were, like, the two big PlayStation things.
And, like, Sly Cooper.
That too.
But yeah, if you want to get into, like, yeah. But this had the potential to be like they even went with the Captain Cork storyline and all that stuff. It was perfect, but it just looks like it was not a good job, and that's sad because look at Big Hero 6.
Yeah.
Look at Wreck-It Ralph, which integrated a lot of Capcom characters and Atari characters.
And they're making another one eventually.
Oh, that's great. That's great. But Big Hero 6 and Wreck-It Ralph did fantastically.
Bonkers, yeah.
Yeah. They're such good movies. To think that you can't do that with Ratchet and Clank, something that has its own established universe, is kind of weird. So now probably it'll never get another chance, which is sad.
Probably not unless they, like you were saying, did a TV show or something. I get disappointed whenever a certain... This kind of reverts back to what we were talking about earlier, but whenever a certain genre film fails, it makes me sad because I know to a certain degree how Hollywood's going to react and what they want to put out there. They're like, oh, they rejected our video game movie. Well, it's because you made something nobody wanted to see. Like, I think Warcraft and Assassin's Creed are going to tell us a lot on what the audience wants to see, what Hollywood wants to make, and...
Are they making a Halo movie as well? Like, not the Fall of Reach or like Forward Unto Dawn or something like that. Like
they've tried a million times. There's nothing solidified right now. I know Neil Blomkamp wanted to make a Halo movie, and he made District 9 to try to get the money to make a Halo movie, and it just never happened.
District 9, Elysium, and Chappie, although you can't take them like 100% seriously, they are still great films, I think. Anyway, so Assassin's Creed and Warcraft. I think they're the perfect ones to kind of like launch this new wave of video game movies.
Like, good or bad, like, honestly, even if they're not great, I want them to do well.
They are the perfect picks. I think you could go into with Tomb Raider.
Zelda next. Bring in Zelda. Well, whether it's Netflix or theatrical, I would love Zelda something. It's a rich world. You pick your own story, but it's a rich world.
Sure, I'm indifferent towards a Netflix series. I would kind of want like more like a Sherlock thing if Netflix were to do a series
Like
with
a couple episodes, but long
like
episodes.
3 episodes, long episodes. Do Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask.
Are you saying Ocarina of Time in an hour and a half, or make the season Ocarina of Time?
No, make the season
Yes.
Ocarina of Time.
Absolutely.
Make Majora's Mask, and then
No Wind
you
Waker?
could you'd have to. So when you get into the Nintendo timeline, it's actually very complicated and ridiculous.
Please
But
don't.
I won't. But there's a whole lot that they'll have to try to figure out. Wind Waker's more towards like the end, like the very end. And then Skyward Sword actually, I think, is the very beginning. So, but anyway, yeah, Legend of Zelda. I'm thinking more like something that could be translated like Fable.
Would be interesting.
It would be interesting. I wonder if they would do like some sort of like
I would love to see BioShock.
they could do 2 movies simultaneously. Brand them as like the same thing, and you don't know if you're going to see like the progression into darkness or the progression into like the lightness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool. Like it's like the same series of events until he makes one certain decision, and then it like branches off into total darkness. Or it'd be kind of cool. I don't know.
I mean, let's not forget, technically, Resident Evil is a video game movie, and there was 5 of them, 6 of them.
Okay, so I like the Resident Evil film franchise. I don't count it as Resident Evil films. If they were to make a Resident Evil, they should have Chris and what's her name, Julie,
No, I totally understand that and get that, but
in the house. You know, like
it did. You know, if there wasn't ever the games, there would have never been the movies.
sure.
So I'm just saying.
Well,
technically,
those
they're
characters that are in the first game are actually later in the film franchise. I think they either come in the second or third one, and there's like 5 of them. But at the same, like I like it. I like the whole storyline. It's cool. It's neat, but it's not.
No,
I don't
it's
think Resident
not.
Evil.
Not really. It's its own universe. Is what the movies are.
Sure, but those were successful.
Yes. Or at least moderately enough to keep making sequels.
Yeah.
Anything else about the video game franchise?
No, I'm just saying, like, yeah, Assassin's Creed is perfect kickoff. Ratchet and Clank, unfortunately, they dropped the ball on that one.
I don't think that's because the interest isn't there. I just don't think that's...
I don't think
They didn't make something we wanted to see.
Well, first of all, how many people knew it was coming out in the first place?
Yeah.
I don't think they did a very good job with marketing. They could have made countless Ratchet and Clank toys. To have like a little like this size Ratchet action figure to play with, a little Clank Lego set. There's all sorts of things that they could do with this. That the marketing was just not there. They didn't try, or they didn't have the money. The trailer was put together by a kindergartner. It's you know, the movie was probably... I actually saw some reviews. It's like, I don't understand what people are saying about this movie because it was actually a good film. It was just...
Maybe I'll watch it on Redbox.
Huh? Sure. Yeah, no, I will watch it eventually. Whether it's several years down the line or not, I don't know. But I do plan on seeing it. So I've heard pretty mixed reviews on it. I haven't heard anyone say that it was total garbage. So that's good.
Gabbage.
Gabbage.
Well,
If we have...
Gabbage Patch Kids. We'll be seeing Warcraft in 3 weeks.
We will, and then we'll be seeing Apocalypse this week.
Next week. It's 20-something.
Right, next week.
Yes.
Next week, yes.
Yes. So we have several reviews coming up, and I'm excited. I'm actually more excited to review Warcraft than I am X-Men. Because I want to review the first huge video game movie.
Just real quick, though, look at these. Look at that comparison. And you like the costumes?
I don't hate them as much as everybody. He's showing me the new Power Rangers. I get it, and I'm not going to go into a side rant of the Iron Rangers, but I think it's going to just calm down, everybody. Everyone also hated the look of Quicksilver when set photos came
I also
out.
think that Green Ranger theory with Rita is going to be pretty solid too.
Anywho, guys, gals, all 40 of you, I think that's
If it's really not just me watching the video 40 times.
closing off episode 8. And man, by the time we get to number 10, we will be several things to review. This is going to be a big summer for movie news and videos and things, but just so you guys don't get left in the dust, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on the videos. Share them around, and until next time, this is Jesse saying, may the film be with you.
Thanks for watching or listening. Thank you.